Today, I'm going to tell you a brutal truth that 99% of people refuse to accept. The reason most people stay poor isn't because they lack opportunities. It's because their brains have been hijacked by what I call the poverty program. And here's the thing that might shock you even more. This program is running in the background of your mind right now, making financial decisions for you without you even realizing it. I've spent years studying the psychological differences between wealthy and poor mindsets, and what I've discovered will fundamentally change how you think about money forever. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to break down 7 core thinking patterns that exist in wealthy minds and reveal 5 deadly traps that keep people stuck in financial struggle. If you're currently feeling anxious about money, if you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, or if you know you're capable of more but can't seem to break through, type the word change in the comments right now. Because change starts with awareness, and awareness starts today. Here's exactly what we're covering in this deep dive. First, I'll show you the fundamental psychological differences between abundance and scarcity thinking, and why these patterns literally rewire your brain to either attract or repel wealth. Then we'll explore 7 specific mental models that wealthy people use automatically, even when they're not thinking about money. After that, I'll reveal 5 psychological traps that keep people trapped in financial struggle. And, most importantly, I'll give you 6 practical techniques you can start using immediately to reprogram your financial mindset. This isn't feel-good motivation or empty promises. Everything I'm sharing is based on psychological research, behavioral economics, and real-world case studies. Whether you're just starting your financial journey or you're already successful but want to reach the next level, these thinking patterns will help you break through whatever limitations are currently holding you back. Let's start with something most people never consider. Your current financial situation isn't just the result of your actions, it's the direct output of your thinking patterns. And here's where it gets interesting. These patterns were largely programmed into you before you turned 18. The scarcity mindset forms through 3 main channels. First, childhood experiences create deep neural pathways about money. If you grew up hearing phrases like money doesn't grow on trees or rich people are greedy, your brain literally wired itself to view wealth as dangerous or immoral. Second, your social environment continuously reinforces these beliefs. When everyone around you complains about money, treats wealthy people with suspicion, or believes that financial success requires sacrifice of morals, your brain accepts this as reality. Third, media consumption shapes your money beliefs in ways you don't even notice. Every movie that portrays business people as villains, every news story that focuses on economic problems rather than opportunities, every social media post that glorifies struggle over success, all of this programs your subconscious to fear and reject wealth. Now contrast this with abundance. Thinking wealthy minds are programmed completely differently. They're opportunity-oriented rather than problem-focused, which means when they encounter a challenge, their first question isn't, "Why is this happening to me?" but "How can I profit from solving this?" They think in terms of long-term investment rather than short-term consumption, so they delay immediate gratification for exponential future returns. Most importantly, they operate from a collaboration mindset rather than competition. They understand that wealth is created when everyone wins, not when someone loses. Think about your most recent money decision right now. Was it driven by fear of losing what you have, or excitement about what you could gain? That difference reveals everything about your current money programming. Now let's dive into the 7 core thinking patterns that separate wealthy minds from everyone else. Pattern number 1, asset versus liability thinking. While most people focus on how things look or feel, wealthy minds automatically ask one question: does this put money in my pocket or take money out of my pocket? When they see a beautiful house, they don't just see a place to live, they see mortgage payments, maintenance costs, property taxes, and opportunity cost of the down payment. When they see a luxury car, they don't see status. They see depreciation, insurance, and money that could be generating returns instead. This isn't about being cheap, it's about understanding cash flow. Rich people buy assets that pay them, then use that income to afford the luxuries they want. Pattern number 2, investment versus consumption thinking. This goes deeper than just buying stocks. Wealthy minds treat everything as an investment decision. When they spend money on education, they calculate the return on knowledge. When they spend time on relationships, they think about long-term value creation. When they buy tools or equipment, they ask how these purchases will generate future income. Poor thinking treats almost everything as consumption. Even necessities are seen as money going out, rather than investments in future productivity. Pattern number 3, learning versus entertainment thinking. Here's a fascinating statistic. The average millionaire reads 52 books per year, while the average person reads less than 1. But it's not just about reading more, it's about what you read and why. Wealthy minds consume information that builds skills, expands networks, or creates opportunities. Entertainment becomes strategic. They might watch movies to understand, storytelling for marketing, or attend social events to build relationships, rather than just have fun. Every input is evaluated for its potential output. Pattern number 4, network versus individual thinking. Poor thinking says I need to work harder. Rich thinking says I need to work with smarter people. Wealthy minds understand that your network determines your net worth. But they approach relationships differently. Instead of asking what can this person do for me, they ask what value can I bring to this person. They build relationships before they need them, and they look for ways to connect others, knowing that being a valuable connector makes you invaluable to everyone. Pattern number 5, systems versus single point thinking. While poor minds trade time for money in a linear relationship, wealthy minds build systems that generate money without their direct involvement. They create processes, hire teams, build brands, and develop intellectual property. The goal isn't to work in the business, it's to work on the business until it runs without them. This requires a completely different approach to problem solving. Instead of fixing issues personally, they create systems that prevent issues from occurring. Pattern number 6, problem solving versus problem avoiding thinking. Most people see problems as things to avoid or complain about. Wealthy minds see problems as business opportunities waiting to be solved. Every inconvenience in your life is a potential million-dollar business for someone else. Traffic jams, created ride-sharing apps. Complicated software, created user-friendly alternatives. Expensive textbooks created online learning platforms. Rich thinking asks, who else has this problem, and how much would they pay to solve it? Pattern number 7, value creation versus value extraction thinking. This is perhaps the most important distinction. Poor thinking asks, how can I get more money? Rich thinking asks, how can I create more value? When you focus on creating value first, money becomes the natural byproduct. This shifts everything about how you approach opportunities, relationships, and even daily interactions. Instead of trying to get the best deal, you try to create the most value. Instead of minimizing what you give, you maximize what you contribute. But understanding rich thinking is only half the equation. You also need to recognize the 5 deadly traps that keep people stuck in poverty mindset. Trap number 1, short-term thinking. Your brain is wired to prioritize immediate rewards over long-term benefits. This kept our ancestors alive, but it keeps modern people poor. Every time you choose instant gratification over delayed gratification, you're training your brain to stay broke. The neural pathways for immediate pleasure become stronger, while the pathways for long-term thinking atrophy. This is why lottery tickets are popular. But retirement investing isn't the solution, isn't willpower, it's rewiring your reward system by celebrating small long-term investments as immediate victories. Trap number 2. Victim mentality. This is perhaps the most expensive mental habit you can have. When you blame external circumstances for your financial situation, you give away your power to change it. Victim thinking says the economy is bad, or rich people are lucky, or I don't have the right connections. Owner thinking says, what can I control in this situation and how can I create the connections I need? The psychological research is clear. People who take responsibility for their outcomes, even when external factors play a role, consistently outperform those who focus on what they can't control. Trap number 3. Perfectionism paralysis. Many people stay poor, not because they make bad decisions, but because they don't make any decisions at all. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect plan, or the perfect moment to start. Meanwhile, wealthy minds understand that done is better than perfect and that you can course correct along the way. Perfectionism isn't about high standards, it's about fear of failure disguised as quality control. The antidote is to embrace iteration, make decisions quickly, execute imperfectly, then improve based on results. Trap number 4. Comparison trap. Social media has made this trap more dangerous than ever. When you constantly compare your behind-the-scenes reality to everyone else's highlight reel, you either feel inferior or you waste money trying to keep up appearances. Wealthy minds focus on their own scoreboard. They might study what others are doing for strategies and inspiration, but they don't let other people's success make them feel inadequate or change their own game plan. Your only competition is who you were yesterday. Trap number 5. Fear paralysis. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of losing what you have. Fear, in all its forms, is the enemy of wealth creation. But here's what most people don't understand. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in the presence of fear. Wealthy minds feel fear, just like everyone else, but they've trained themselves to move forward anyway. They understand that the biggest risk is taking no risk at all, and that failure is feedback, not a verdict on their worth as a person. Now, let's get practical. Here are 6 techniques you can use immediately to start reprogramming your financial mindset. Technique number 1. The money diary method. For the next 30 days, write down every purchase you make and the emotion or thought that triggered it. Was it fear, boredom, stress, social pressure, genuine need, or strategic investment? This creates awareness of your unconscious money patterns. Most people have no idea why they spend money, they just react to internal triggers. Once you see the patterns, you can start changing them. Technique number 2. The opportunity list method. Every morning, write down 3 potential opportunities you could pursue that day. They don't have to be big. Maybe it's connecting 2 people who should meet. Maybe it's learning a new skill. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you admire. This trains your brain to look for opportunities instead of problems. After 30 days of this practice, you'll be amazed at how many possibilities you start noticing that were invisible before. Technique number 3. The reverse thinking method. Before making any significant decision, ask yourself, how would someone with 10 times my income approach this situation? This forces you to step outside your current mental programming and consider perspectives that your normal thinking wouldn't generate. It's like having a wealthy mentor in your head guiding your decisions. Technique number 4. The value creation diary. Each evening, write down 3 ways you created value for other people that day. This could be solving a problem at work, helping a friend, creating content, or even just being a positive presence in someone's life. This practice trains your mind to focus on contribution rather than consumption, which is the foundation of all wealth creation. Technique number 5. The future self. Exercise. Before making any financial decision, imagine yourself 5 years from now. Looking back at this choice, what would your future self advise? This extends your time horizon and helps you think beyond immediate consequences. Your future self is always wealthier and wiser. Start consulting that person today. Technique number 6. The gratitude abundance practice. Every morning, write down 5 things you're genuinely grateful for. That money can't buy: relationships, health, experiences, knowledge, opportunities. Then write down 5 forms of wealth you already have that you might be taking for granted. This rewires your brain from scarcity to abundance, and abundance thinking is the prerequisite for wealth creation. But even with these techniques, you'll encounter psychological obstacles that have been years in the making. Let's address how to break through them. First, you need to identify your limiting beliefs about money. Common ones include money is the root of all evil. I don't deserve to be wealthy. Rich people are selfish. If I become successful, I'll lose my friends. Or making money requires sacrificing my values. Write down every negative belief you have about money and wealthy people. Then ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Was it something a parent said, a teacher taught, or a movie portrayed? Most of our money beliefs aren't based on evidence. They're based on programming from people who weren't wealthy themselves. Next, you need to reprogram your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind can understand these concepts intellectually, but your subconscious runs most of your daily decisions. Use positive affirmations, but make them specific and believable. Instead of "I am rich," try "I am becoming more valuable to the marketplace every day," or "I notice and act on opportunities others miss." Combine these with visualization. Spend 10 minutes each morning imagining yourself successfully implementing these new thinking patterns and enjoying the results they create. Finally, you need to change your environment. Your physical space, your social circle, and your information diet all influence your thinking patterns. Surround yourself with books, podcasts, and videos about wealth creation instead of entertainment. Spend time with people who talk about opportunities instead of problems. Design your living space to remind you of your financial goals rather than your current limitations. Let me bring this all together with the key insights that will determine your financial future. Your current financial situation is not permanent, it's simply the output of your current thinking patterns. When you change how you think about money, you change how you behave with money, which changes your financial results. The 7 wealthy thinking patterns we discussed: asset, thinking; investment, thinking; learning, thinking; network, thinking; systems, thinking; problem-solving thinking; and value creation, thinking. These aren't just concepts to understand. They're mental muscles to develop through daily practice. The 5 scarcity traps: short-term thinking, victim mentality, perfectionism, comparison, and fear. These are psychological viruses that infect your decision-making. The moment you recognize them operating in your mind, you can choose a different response. Remember this key truth that will determine everything. Wealth is not about how much you have, it's about how much value your thinking can create. Every wealthy person started with the same 24 hours in a day that you have. The difference was in how they programmed their minds to use that time. The urgency of this transformation cannot be overstated. Every single day, your current thinking patterns are either building wealth or destroying it. Every decision you make is either moving you toward financial freedom or deeper into financial struggle. There is no neutral ground. You're either growing or shrinking, creating or consuming, building assets or accumulating liabilities. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments below, share one insight from today's video that hit you the most powerfully. Maybe it was recognizing a scarcity trap you've been caught in. Or maybe it was understanding a wealthy thinking pattern you want to develop. Your comment might inspire someone else who needed to hear that exact perspective. Here's your challenge. Choose one of the 6 techniques we discussed and commit to practicing it for 21 days straight. That's how long it takes to start forming a new neural pathway. Whether it's the money diary, the opportunity list, reverse thinking, value creation diary, future self-consultation, or gratitude abundance practice, pick one and make it your focus for the next 3 weeks. If this video opened your eyes to the psychological foundations of wealth, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because next week I'm sharing something even more powerful. The specific daily habits and action steps that wealthy people use to turn these thinking patterns into real-world results. You'll get a complete blueprint for implementing everything we talked about today. Remember, changing your thinking is the first step to changing your destiny. Your financial future is not determined by your current circumstances, it's determined by the thoughts you choose to think and the actions you choose to take, starting right now. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll turn these mental foundations into a concrete action plan for building real wealth.